So, I'm making the video because it's kind of funny, but it took me about an hour just to take pretty much everything off the engine. And yeah, this is how it looks like. Um, I want to make a comment that this time I definitely put a lot of abuse into it. Um, Luckily, well, this really hard to see because the damage could be inside the cap, so we'll see later. But what I'm trying to say is I put a lot of abuse into the motor, and I'm curious how does the piston skirts look like, and how does the top look like, because I put special coatings in it. I had a lot of detonation going on a few times. I over boosted it maybe once. Yeah, so ran it lean a few times, and it the head gasket held, I think. So we'll see on that. Somebody was asking the build specs. I don't know if you're watching, but I'll just say that right now. I had mainly crank in there, 88 millimeter, mainly rods, 156 millimeter I beams. Visseco pistons, which has piston, the wrist pin height ratio 28.7, and they are 14cc. If that concerns you, they're 14cc pistons. Compression is around like 9 to 1, and I don't really have anything bad to say about the actual rods. Um, Again, I mean, it's hard to say as far as the condition of the actual rod right now because it's still in the engine. Um, Obviously, what happened here is not the rod's fault. It's basically, the bearings. The bearings did not survive. Um, as far as like when I was building this, I'm pretty sure I had too tight of a clearance in here, which is you want to be concerned about when you're running high horsepower car, and you want at least 2000s, and I think I probably had 1000s of a clearance in there, and I did not match or did not order the right bearings that had more clearance in them. And yeah, so we'll see. I don't know, maybe I'm gonna probably I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'll run mainly rods again. Maybe not. We'll see. But I'm definitely gonna run the same pistons because I doubt the pistons are hurt. No, I'm pretty sure the pistons are fine. And just gonna refinish them, clean them up, and run them again. Um, the crank got hurt, especially on first cylinder. Looks like that's where all the crap when the filter failed went in first, and then it traveled all the way down. For some reason, first and fourth ended up being the worst out of four cylinders. The two middle ones, this one I think second did not really get hurt, but three got hurt a little bit. But anyway, I decided just buy a different crank. It's gonna be K1 crank for the 4G63. Again, it's going to be 88 millimeter. And the reason I'm doing this build 88 millimeter with 156 rods is because I would like to rev high, and I want my rod to piston ratio to be around, above 1.7 because the stock Evo is 1.7. My rod ratio right now, like this, is 1.77. It's higher, which is better for the side load of um, the bore. So like when you have a lower rod ratio, you have more force going towards the side of the bore. with the piston. So the piston wears out faster, and as well as your bore, and so eventually you will have a wobble, and you're gonna have to rebuild the engine a lot faster, and you're gonna have a lot wear, and it's just not gonna be reliable. Um, and that is very important when you're revving the engine high. You want as high as possible piston to rod ratio. Formula One cars have like two 2.0 or 2.5. Like it's very high. And the way you want, if you want to find out the piston's rod ratio, you take the rod length. So mine's 156. If you take 156 divided by 88 millimeters, you will get 1.77. The stock 4G63 is 150 millimeters with 88 crank, and if you divide that, that will be exactly 1.7. So they actually had a good engineering, but normally you want to be above 1.5. Obviously, once you go above 1.5, it gets better. Less side load and better on the engine. And then as well, I'm gonna rebuild the transmission and get the final drive, LSD, uh, new crank, possibly. Well, pretty sure I'm gonna get new rods, refinish the pistons, um, check my oil rings on the pistons, get on your head gaskets, check that the 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 block is level, then warp, and probably gonna take the head just to machine it, take the valves out, machine it, clean it. And when I get a new crank, obviously I will go to machine shop too with to balance it. And the oil crank probably will take the as well and tell them just to turn it and just sell it. I'm probably not gonna use it. But that's as far as what's going on right now with the car and what I'm going to be doing next. And yep. Oh, and one more thing, the oil pump. The oil pump that I bought, thinking about putting straight gears into it because I believe because the gears and the pump are side cut, I feel like at higher PMs it creates a wear on a pump, and that's another part that will be important. And the 4G63 6 bolt, they had straight cut gears in the pump. So and another bad thing is this pump is off the market. It's not OEM, so the tolerances I'm pretty sure were crappy because even the bolts that were tightened, they were not in the middle. So yeah, I will get an OEM pump, disassemble it, order the pump gears, straight cut gears, put them in. That will get rid of the side load and probably improve the oiling. And obviously, it's going to be more reliable. And then on here, I'm gonna put a oil filter housing, two oil filters right here. I don't know how big it's gonna be, but yeah, that's basically the oil filter housing is gonna be sitting right here, and then two hoses are gonna. Oh crap! I don't know how that's gonna work, but yeah, the hose is gonna have to go in that pump, and that's gonna be interesting. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna find another spot for it. Probably not. There's no way I'm gonna put that in there. But yeah, um, I think I covered everything, and that's about it. Um, yeah, I'll come back later. Probably next video is gonna be when I have everything off, and talk about condition of everything. I'm also curious how bad the caps are. This is actually easier to rebuild. It's not very critical. You can just machine them yourself in the house. just cleaning them up a little bit and good to go. I just hope it didn't scratch the cams. It's not a big deal. These things don't really get a lot of abuse. You know, pretty easy to fix even if it damaged. But I hope not. I hope it did not. I hope it did not get in there. I swear to God, I'm gonna be crying. But one thing I want to mention is when you have debris in the engine, you definitely want to take it apart. You don't want to run it like that because anything can be still in the caps. I'm just gonna keep wearing out the bearings. And in my case, I'm gonna have to pull everything out, open up all the galleys, clean them up, flush them out, clean them, blow them, everything. Like use a camera and make sure there's not a single piece of copper, brass, aluminum, anything that went into the engine because that will just destroy the when you pushing so much horsepower, it's going to destroy the engine. But yeah, well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.